So very honored to be here, very proud day. I know when I used to be a young man myself or a young boy, speeches were always very, very difficult to endure. So I'm going to keep it very short and sweet with some just points which you might want to take home or work on them yourself. Just remember, we are 73 years down the road in India from our constitution. And I have seen as a young boy those days when there was poverty, there was hunger, there was starvation, there were millions and millions of people on the streets those days. So we didn't have that kind of population, but even then you could see the poverty. And we ourselves, my family ourselves we came from as refugees. And I remember my grandparents and my father who worked very hard to make us or take us where we are today. So the one thing that you should remember today is that it's your forefathers, it's your parents who have brought you to this stage in all the luxury that you live in today, which we didn't have, and you should remain, in my opinion, ever grateful to them. This is one thing that I find sometimes the young people forget as they grow a little older, and they feel that their lives are more important than their parents or grandparents, but they don't realize how much the grandparents or the parents want them to speak to them, give them affection and love, just like they did when you were toddlers and you were learning to walk. India certainly has come a long, long way. And we have progressed from what we were in these 75, 76 years of freedom that we have now. But we still have a long way to go, because from our population, as you know, almost 300 million people are still not getting 2 square meals a day. And the only people who can take this country forward is you. My generation or the generation before me brought us here where we are. We did our bit, fine. But the future of this country rests on your shoulders. So I'm very, very happy to be here with you if I can inspire even some of you or most of you, I think I would have done my good deed for the year, not just for the day. So remember that, and the only way you can take this country forward is through education. And when I say education, one of the things that I see, unfortunately, currently, is book knowledge by rote. You want to pass exams, you want that kunjali, as they used to call it, and you want to quickly get the answers. My wife is a teacher, incidentally, and teaches English in a school. And she comes back and tells me stories about the students, how they talk about things, what they want to know. And everyone wants to know what's coming in the exam so that they can pass. Passing exams is not education. Education is opening your mind to broader things in life, to get that inquisitive urge to find out more and question people as to why, how, what. And the principal minds that. I know most teachers do their bit. I mean, I remember my teachers in our time who were just waiting for people to ask questions instead of just saying, what's in the book, and mug it up and rattle it out. Now, if I give you a speech from a paper today, it's the same thing. Don't. Open your minds, read more, much more than what's in your textbooks. Our textbooks themselves, in my opinion, require revision, which is coming in slowly, but still have a long, long way to go because it takes time to change slowly. When you're doing this and moving forward to a bright future, taking the country to its destined place in the world as perhaps the most powerful country by the end of this century, or at least by 2047, as the Prime Minister said, 100 years of this country to a developed country and way beyond that. Remember, build on the foundation that you inherited. Remember your culture, your Sanskriti. We tend to forget that because in our efforts to ape the West, we forget what India was 5,000 years ago, 3,000 years ago, 2,000 years ago. If I just rattle off one small couple of bits of information here, till about 1000 AD, India had 34% of the world's economy and wealth. Till even after the invaders came, and when the British took over and we surrendered to them, we were still 25% of the world economy. By the time they left us, the British, we were 1.4%. See what had happened, and from 1.4% today we are now heading for the 5th largest economy again, and we are rapidly going there. Fine, we are way behind China, people will say that. But why does that happen? Remember, you go to Japan or China and you see their culture. They're proud of their culture and they're proud of their customs, but at the same time they're very modern and open-minded in their outlook. That's what takes them there. And most important, they're united. Each finger over here, you've heard this from many times from your students, has no meaning, no strength. When you're together, it becomes a fist. So strive for that excellence. Strive for togetherness, because when you put your weight behind the effort, everybody puts their shoulder to the yoke, that's when you move forward. But if people are pulling in different directions, you just break up and you don't go anywhere, you stay where you are. And quite frankly, if you look at history and read about it, and you know, our history books, I still remember it started generally from Lodi and Mughal times. There was such a brief mention of, shall I say, Ashoka, the Mauryan Empire, and all the other Gupta. People don't even know today. I'm sure 90% of you don't know that we've had empires in India which lasted 1,000 years. No empire in the world has lasted that long. Look at Cholas, Vijayanagara, all these southern empires that flourished, and you see their architecture and the beauty of the works they've left behind. It's amazing. We in India discovered Aryabhatta, take his name. Well, he knew, I'm 5th century AD guy. He knew, he knew the earth, he knew the whole solar system, he knew the earth was round, he knew the distance calculated the distance between earth and the moon, the diameters of the two, sun. And then we gave it away to Copernicus because he is the inventor that the earth is round. Can you imagine Europe lynched people if they said that the earth is round till the Middle Ages, till about the 17th century. We knew all this earlier. We had people like Shustra, who in medical science, 800 BC, he knew what we're talking about, surgery and everything else today. Unfortunately, over the years, we lost it because of being, shall I say, ruled over by other people who wanted to eradicate this knowledge and this culture so that they could rule over us. You have to go back to those roots and build on them. I was so thrilled to read the other day that in NASA, they are experimenting on our old Vedic drawings of Vimanas. And they say those are the spaceships and they think it's workable. They're working on it. So, and we want to ape what's in the West. Certainly, I'm saying be modern, find out what's going on there, take the best of everyone, but never forget your culture and what brings you, your Sanskriti that brought you here. Because that's the only thing that can take you forward and remain united. All that comes through education. Why do people have superstition, differences? They go by what, shall I say, blind people leading the blind. They go by whatever is told to them. Because they don't apply their own mind, they haven't opened their own mind and read and questioned. When you question, you realize we are all one people. Just the Mauryan Empire time, or go about, even read Mahabharata, we were from Gandhar, Kandahar, all the way to Southeast Asia. We've never conquered people. That was our original culture. But we surrendered only because of one reason. We broke up into small petty kingdoms and we started pulling each other down like crabs. Don't do that. Always work on your own merits instead of pulling the other guy down. You don't go on top by pulling somebody down. You go on top by going higher than them. So what we, or my forefathers, every generation should actually build on what the previous generation left behind and go take it forward. That is progress. And that's what I'm hoping you guys will do as you 10, 20 years from now. If we are still around, I want to be proud of you all to say, yeah, these are the guys who produced out of you all gems. I'll just leave you with one thought in the end. Having been in the Air Force and in combat for, I stayed in the Air Force for 40 years. There's a very famous saying, there is no prize for the runner-up in war. So excel in whatever your field is, whatever you're interested. Whatever job you do, you should say, I will do it to the best of my ability. If it's cleaning toilets, they should shine. There should be no one better than me. It doesn't matter what job you do. Every cog in the wheel, has a place. Every spoke makes the wheel run. That's the way we gotta go, actually, as one team. And everybody doing his bit. In the end, I can only give you one quote from a famous president, Jack Kennedy of the 1960s of the United States, who said, ask not what the country can do for you, ask what you can do for the country. I hope you'll remember that and move on with that. I wish you all the best of luck and fortune in life. May you all achieve whatever you're looking for and go places. Before I conclude, I am compelled to announce.
Not now.
Not now? Later? Okay, fair enough, all right. So, in the end, Jai Hind, shout with me, Jai Hind.